Today, Sunday, Parashat Vaera. We're learning from Hok leIsrael in the Halakha Hok, and we're in the second portion here. There are some sins that are not as serious as the ones that were mentioned until now. Still, however, Amru Hachamim, our sages said, a person who's in the habit of committing the sins, he doesn't have a portion in the world to come. It is advisable for a person to stay away from these sins and to distance himself from these practices. And these are what these sins are. The person who gives a nickname to another one. In other words, one who nicknames another person is a sin that is grave. And many times people give nicknames that are derogatory, and it's something that is not to be done. Even if he was not the person who gave that nickname, if he calls another person by his nickname, a derogatory nickname, that would be something that would be a grave sin. A person who embarrasses another in public, that's considered very serious. You have to be very, very careful not to embarrass a person in public. And a person who gets honor by another person's dishonor. In other words, you were involved in some kind of a situation with another person. He acted improperly. You acted properly. You find honor and by putting the other person's down, that you're not like the other person. He didn't act right, but you acted right. That is also something that brings honor through the dishonor of another person. That also is something that would be also a sin. And a person who denigrates Torah scholars, who embarrasses Torah scholars. You have to be very careful, because a person who's a Torah scholar, who represents the Torah, if you embarrass him, if you denigrate him, if you belittle him, it is as if you were belittling the Torah. And a person who denigrates his teachers of Torah, if you denigrate them, if you speak badly about them, if you embarrass them, that's also a grave sin. Someone who is not respectful of the festivals, and specifically our sages mention Chol HaMoed. We have to be very careful that even in the intermediary days of the holiday, let's say Pesach, the middle days, the Chol HaMoed, and also Sukkot, that we should act towards them with respect for the festival, and not to make them just a regular day of Chol. That's considered to be a serious sin, to the extent of not having Olam Haba. Ve'amchalel et HaKodashim. And a person who desecrates sacred objects, or the Tabet HaMikdash, sacred portions of Korbanot, anything that has Kedusha, a person desecrates it, that's considered to be a grave sin. However, our Rambam continues and says, when is it that he doesn't have a portion in the world to come? When he dies without having done teshuvah. But if he did teshuvah, umet, and then after teshuvah he died, Baal teshuvah is considered to be a Baal teshuvah. Of course, he has a portion in the world to come. Nothing can stand in the way of teshuvah. Even if he denies one of the essentials, beliefs in Hashem, even if he denies that, all these days, and at the end he does teshuvah, he has a portion in the world to come. Like the pasuk says, Shalom, Shalom, leRachok veLakarov, Amar Hashem urfativ. Peace, peace to he who is far and who is near, says Hashem, and I will heal him, even those that were far and are close, through their teshuvah. Definitely, it's peace for them, and they have a portion in Olam Haba. But these sins that we mentioned here sometimes are dealt with people in a light manner. They call others by nickname. They're not so careful about embarrassing others. They find honor by dishonoring another person. All these are sins that are, even though sometimes not considered to be so chashuv, so important, the Halakha Hok says, so important that a person would not have chelek olam haba unless he does teshuvah from them. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.